If I told you, one of the oldest religions on earth actually went through a massive, unannounced balance patch. Like, imagine playing a game for thousands of years, and suddenly the devs completely change your character's build. This is exactly what happened to Hinduism. Let's look at the early days, the Vedic period. This wasn't the Hinduism you see today on Instagram Reels with ambient lo-fi music. No, this was pure, unadulterated god of war energy. The main god back then was Indra. And he wasn't sitting in deep meditation, no. He was a thunderbolt wielding, soma drinking warrior deity smashing cosmic serpents. He's basically Thor meets Gojo Satoru. Back then, the ritual meta was all about yajnas, massive fire sacrifices. You didn't go to a temple to ring a bell. Temples didn't even exist yet. Instead, you build a massive altar, threw meat and intoxicating drinks into the fire, and demanded the cosmos to give you cattle, rain, and victory in war. It was literally a transaction with the universe. You give resources, the god gives power. Think of it like the equivalent exchange rule from Full Metal Alchemist. You want something, you have to sacrifice something of equal value. But then the devs decided that this meta was too broken. So, as centuries passed, people got tired of the endless resource grinding for fire sacrifices. It's like when a mobile game forces you to pay to win and the player base rebels. So then came the Upanishads. This was Hinduism's, let's say, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty update. It completely rewrote the game's engine. They looked at the physical sacrifices and said, what if the sacrifice is inside your own mind? Suddenly, the external world was labeled Maya, a literal simulation. They told everyone that the universe is just an illusion, and your soul, the Atma, is actually part of the supreme reality, Brahman. If that sounds familiar, it's because it's the exact plot of the Matrix. You see, you aren't a player in the game. You are the code itself. The goal shifted from give me more cattle to how do I log out of this simulation forever, aka moksha. This is where the concept of karma became the ultimate anti-cheat system. You do bad deeds, the system automatically docks your points and forces you to respawn as a low-tier build in the next life. I'm talking about maybe a gecko or a cockroach, or even worse, a girl in Afghanistan. Fast forward to modern Hinduism. The harsh reality? The warrior energy of the Vedas and the deep reality-bending philosophy of the Upanishads got heavily nerfed into a cozy, casual simulation. Indra? Well, he was completely sidelined. He went from the Zeus of the pantheon to a minor side character who constantly gets his lunch money stolen by demons and has to beg the main trio for help. He basically got the Yamcha treatment from Dragon Ball Z. Instead, the modern era shifted entirely to bhakti, pure emotional devotion. We built massive temples, started offering flowers, sweets, and singing songs, which, if you think about it, is quite nice. Seeing a practice go from constant resource grinding to giving importance to what's inside your mind and heart is a nice change. It stands as evidence of how humans evolve with time. But of course, with this change came certain loopholes. The old text said God is inside you, and the universe is a playground to transcend. Modern reality treated it like a corporate hierarchy where you middle manage your way to heaven through transactional prayers. We swap the reality-shattering realization of the Neos waking up from pod for the comfort of staying inside the simulation because the food simply tastes too good. Ancient Hinduism wanted you to break the game. Modern Hinduism just wants you to follow the rules of the lobby. The most dangerous place in the universe isn't a dungeon in Elden Ring. It's the comment section of a viral reel, guarded by people with holy symbols in their bios. It's a glitch in human psychology that spans across every faction. You got crusader accounts posting pure racism with cross emojis and extremists throwing out threats with religious text in their profiles. But today we are looking at the specific patch notes of modern Hinduism. Because right now, the gap between the lore and the actual gameplay is getting completely out of hand. Let's talk about the modern online meta. If you log on to Twitter or Instagram, you'll find profiles loaded with epic high contrast images of Lord Shiva or Lord Rama. Their bios are packed with holy chants like Jai Shri Ram or Har Har Mahadev. From the outside, you think, wow, this person must be achieving inner peace, a literal monk. But the second someone posts a video criticizing an outdated social practice or a creator makes a harmless joke, these accounts activates their ultimate abilities. Suddenly, the person with a peaceful deity as their profile picture is dropping the most vile, toxic, misogynistic and bigoted comments you've ever seen in your life. They use language that would make a Call of Duty lobby from 2009 looks like a polite tea party. It's the ultimate hypocritical build. They use holy names as a shield, thinking it gives them immunity to act like absolute villains. In Naruto, Sasuke wears the Uchiha crest proudly, but spends half the series trying to destroy everything and spread pure hatred. Modern internet warriors are doing the exact same thing. They display the sacred symbol, but their actual dialogue matches the main villain's monologue. They think chanting the names of a righteous king makes them righteous, completely forgetting that Lord Rama's whole character arc was about unmatched discipline, respect, and emotional control. They inherited the branding, but completely skipped the tutorial on how to play the character. Like, my point is, I'm not telling you to be like Rama. It's impossible to be someone like Rama. What I'm saying is, if you're going to act like rabid dirty dog, then you might as well remove those religious symbols from your bio, because you're directly ruining that religion's reputation. But this hypocrisy isn't just digital. It's fully rendered in the physical world. Look at how modern demographics treat their sacred geography. In Hindu lore, rivers aren't just bodies of water. They are literal goddesses. The Gangas and the Yamuna are worshipped as the living deities that descended from the heavens to purify humanity. People will travel thousands of miles, spend their life savings, and stand in freezing water just to take a holy dip and erase their sins. They treat the river like a magical health potion that restores your soul. But the second they step out of the water, the simulation breaks. The exact same people who just prayed to the river will toss plastic bottles, industrial waste, flour wrapped in toxic polythene, and literal garbage right back into it. The Yamuna River in Delhi literally looks like a post-apocalyptic zone from Fallout. It is covered in thick, toxic white foam caused by industrial pollution. Yet people will stand inside that chemical sludge to perform holy rituals. Can you believe it? The texts preach Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family, and nature is sacred. But the modern player base treats nature like an infinite resource exploit with zero environmental consequences. In countries like Germany and Japan, rivers are treated like any other normal natural creation, and yet they are so clean. India is a country where people of all religion live, but our current government calls India a Hindu nation. So let's assume that yes, India is a Hindu nation. So wouldn't that make what the netizens are doing to the quote-unquote mother rivers a criminal offense? I mean, considering the fact that they call Ganga and Yamuna as mother rivers, shouldn't they punish the people who throw trash in it? Instead, people continue to do it without any consequence whatsoever. In certain parts of North India like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, people have lost their lives because they were found shipping cows on trucks by the local so-called religious soldiers. If the purity and image of their religion is so important, why aren't the same people reacting the same way towards people who throw trash into Yamuna and Ganga? This is the harsh reality of the current demographic. We have millions of people who are fiercely protective of the idea of the religion but completely detached from its actual values. They will start a literal riot if a statue is misplaced, but they won't lift a damn finger to clean the street outside the temple. They will hunt down anyone who insults their god online, but will type out disgusting threats to a woman in the very next comment section, completely ignoring that every female deity in their pantheon represents power, knowledge, and wealth. It's like a gamer who spends thousands of dollars buying the most expensive glowing skins for the character, but has a 0.2 KD ratio because they don't actually know how to play the goddamn fucking game. Modern devotion has become purely cosmetic. Ancient Hinduism was an open world RPG focused on exploring consciousness, respecting nature, and mastering the self. Modern toxic demographics have turned it into a toxic clan war where the only goal is to toxic emote on the opposing team. They forget that in the grand cosmic ledger, your bio doesn't grant you extra stats, your actual actions does. And right now, the leaderboard is looking incredibly embarrassing. If I told you the oldest open world system on Earth got hijacked by third-party mods and now the entire player base is locked in a broken pay-to-win tier list, would you believe me? Well, we went from searching for the ultimate truth to getting scammed by guys in orange robes and checking a spreadsheet to see if we are allowed to marry someone. Can you believe it? The developer notes never included this. The players coded this nightmare themselves. Let's start with the current trend of the internet gurus. If you scroll through your feed, you'll see them. They wear minimalistic robes, sit under high-end studio light, and speak in a deep, soothing voice with ambient lo-fi beats playing in the background. They claim they have unlocked the secrets of the cosmos. They tell you they can fix your anxiety, balance your chakras, and manifest your dream job. But there is a catch. To unlock this ancient wisdom, you need to sign up for their premium 3-day workshop. You need to buy their branded wellness products. You need to hit that subscribe button and join their inner circles. It is literally a pay-to-win microtransaction. Ancient sages like Adi Shankara, Sri Narayana Guru, and Bodhidharma walked across the entire subcontinent on foot, sleeping under trees, giving away philosophy for absolutely free because they believed knowledge belonged to the universe. Modern gurus are basically EA Sports. They take a game that used to be free to play, lock the core mechanics behind a paywall, and sell you basic cosmetic upgrades disguised as enlightenment. They use pseudo-scientific jargon, mixing words like quantum physics and cosmic vibration with ancient Sanskrit terms. It sounds so deep, but it's just filler text. It's like a character in Yu-Gi-Oh! Explaining a card effect for 20 minutes just to do 5 points of basic damage. They aren't trying to liberate your mind, they're trying to maximize their quarterly revenue. But the absolute biggest glitch in the entire system is the caste system. Oh my god, where do I even begin? Caste, caste, caste. Let's look at the actual source code. In the ancient texts like the Gita, there is a concept called Varna. The text explicitly states that a person's classification is based on guna, which means qualities, and karma, which means action. It was a fluid functional division of labor. If you were intellectual and sought knowledge, you were a Brahmin. If you were a warrior or a leader, you were a Kshatriya. If you were a business owner or a merchant, you were a Vaishya. If you were a skilled laborer, you were a Shudra. Crucially, it was never meant to be hereditary. It was based on your current build, not your spawn point. It's exactly like choosing a class in an RPG like World of Warcraft or Elden Ring. You choose to be a mage, a knight, or a rogue based on your skills and how you want to play the game. Your character's kids don't automatically spawn as mages just because you were one. But humans decided to completely break the game logic. Over centuries, a greedy group of high-tier players realized they could gatekeep all the loot. So, they locked the classes. They turned a fluid skill tree into a permanent hereditary cage. They decided that your entire worth as a human being is determined solely by the family you spawned into. The concept that a random combination of DNA at birth defines your cosmic worth is sheer absolute stupidity. It is the equivalent of booting up a brand new game and the server permanently bans you from using high-tier weapon just because your dad had a bad score in his previous match. Can you believe it, my friends? It completely destroys the concept of personal merit. Did God create caste? Did Vishnu create caste? Did Brahma? Did Shiva? No. God created the open world. Humans build the walls inside it to protect their own privilege. And that brings us back to the core lore of this video. Despite all the broken mods and toxic player bases we've talked about, Hinduism at its core is a breathtakingly beautiful religion. The ancient scriptures are literal masterclasses in cosmic psychology, tackling questions about the universe that modern physics are still trying to figure out. The art, the architecture of the ancient temples carved out of single stones, the mesmerizing classical music, soulful chants, there's undeniable beauty stitched into every single layer of its original design. And the truth is, there are still millions of Hindus out there who ignored the online toxicity, skipped the fake gurus, and quietly try their absolute best to live by the true, authentic rule of the game. They practice empathy, they protect nature, and they treat every human being as an extension of the divine. They are the ones keeping the original source code alive. And of course, judging an entire population of 1.2 billion Hindus based on the unhinged comments of the internet trolls, putting a massive group of unique human beings into a single arbitrary box and judging their worth based on the label, it is sheer unadulterated stupidity. You cannot blame the entire game engine just because a few toxic hackers are ruining the lobby. At the end of the day, religion isn't the final boss. Don't fear a person just because they are deeply religious, wear traditional clothes, or chant holy names. A true believer is trying to conquer their own ego, not their neighbors. Fear the ones who take something meant for spiritual liberation, strip away all the beauty, and turn it into a social weapon to gain political power, clicks, and control. The ancient text told us to wake up from the illusion, and it's time we finally opened our eyes.